Hello, Moomintroll called softly. Is he coming? Don't disturb me, the Himmelin replied sullenly, looking through a long list in which nearly every line seemed to be crossed out. He sat down by one of the candles and started to count on his fingers. Mother, father, Gafsy, he mumbled. The cousins, the eldest hedgehog. I can give the small ones, I can leave them out. And Sniff gave me nothing last year. Then Misabel and Whamper, and Auntie, of course, this drives me mad. What is it? The Snork maiden asked anxiously. Has anything happened to them? Presents, the Himmelin exclaimed. More and more presents every time Christmas comes around. He scribbled a shaky cross on his list and ambled off. Wait, Moomintroll shouted. Please explain. You forgot your mittens. But the Himmelin disappeared in the dark, like all the others that had been in a hurry and beside themselves over the coming of Christmas. So the Moomin family quickly went in to look for some presents. Moomin Papa chose his best trolling spoon, which had a very beautiful box. He wrote, "For Christmas," on the box and laid it out in the snow. The Snork maiden took off her ankle ring and sighed a little as she rolled it up in silk paper. Moomin Mama opened her secret drawer and took out her book of paintings, the one and only coloured book in all the valley. Moomintroll's present was so lavish and private that he showed it to no one. Not even afterwards, in the spring, did he tell anyone what he had given away. Then they all sat down in the snow again and waited for the frightening guest. Time passed. Nothing happened. Only the small woody who had upset the cup of tea appeared from behind the woodshed. It had brought all its relations and the friends of these relations. Everyone was as small and grey and miserable and frozen. Merry Christmas, the woody whispered shyly. You're the first to say such a thing, Moomin Papa said. Aren't you at all afraid of what's going to happen when Christmas comes? This is it, the woody mumbled and sat down in the snow with its relations. May we look? You've got such a beautiful fir tree. And all the food, one of the relations said dreamingly. And real presents, said another. Oh, I've dreamed all my life of seeing this up close, the woody said with a sigh. There was a pause. The candles burnt steadily in the quiet night. The woody and its relations sat quite still. One could feel their admiration and longing stronger and stronger, and finally Moomin Mama edged a little closer to Moomin Papa and whispered, Don't you think so, too? Why, yes, but if... Moomin Papa objected. No matter, Moomintroll said. If Christmas gets angry, we can close the door, and perhaps we'll be safe inside. And then he turned to the woody and said, You can have it all. The woody didn't believe its ears at first. It stepped cautiously closer to the fir tree, followed by all the relations and friends with devoutly quivering whiskers. They had never had a Christmas of their own before. I think we'd better be off now, Moomin Papa said anxiously. They padded back to the veranda, locked the door, and hid under the table. Nothing happened. After a while, they looked anxiously out the window. All the small creatures were sitting around the fir tree, eating and drinking and opening parcels and having more fun than ever. Finally, they climbed the fir tree and carefully fastened the burning candles onto the branches. Only there ought to be a star at the top, the woody's uncle said. Do you think so? The woody replied, looking thoughtfully at Moomin Mama's red silk rose. What difference does it make so long as the idea's right? The rose should have been a star, Moomin Mama whispered to the others. But how on earth? They looked at the sky, black and distant, but unbelievably full of stars, 1,000 times more than in summer, and the biggest one was hanging exactly above the top of their fir tree. I'm sleepy, Moomin Mama said. I'm really too tired to wonder about the meaning of all this. But it seems to have come off all right. At least I'm not afraid of Christmas anymore, Moomin Troll said. I believe the Himmelin and his aunt and Gafsy must have misunderstood the whole thing. They laid the Himmelin's yellow mittens on the veranda rail, where he'd be sure to catch sight of them, and then they went back to the drawing room to sleep some more, waiting for the spring. Here is the beautiful tree. That story was called The Fir Tree, and it was written and illustrated by Tove Jansson and was published by Sort of Books. I bought this one in Oxfam, in Bray. So that's all for now.